The Fan Connections Road to WrestleMania. The road starts here.
So we're taking it all the way back to WrestleMania 1, and we're willing to highlight all the key matches and moments
from WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 40 to get us ready for WrestleMania 41.
And as soon as WWE War Games Survivor Series has ended, y'all get ready, y'all buckle up.
Coming in hot, Raw December 9th edition.
And we start this out with Damian Priest, Gunther, and all of the Judgment Day going at it, pretty much. Gunther comes out by himself to say, oh, you know, like, I'm just the best out here, you know, like, I beat Damian Priest after I was scared that I was going to lose type thing. And then Finn Balor want to come out, argue with him that it was because of him, and now it's going to be because of him that he loses that title. Me, myself, dude, I don't see Gunther losing anytime soon to anybody, to be honest. Because, like, if they're not going to keep that title on him to at least Rumble or Mania, then he would have lost to Priest.
Yeah, I don't believe that there's a possibility of Gunther losing his title going in the main event. Because I just think Finn Balor and Damian Priest are going to be too consumed with hatred for one another to really focus on what's important.
And plus the Judgment Day, like, it seems like they all got some cracks too. Like, any one of them could just turn on them.
I'm starting to believe that Dominic Mysterio might be starting to turn because Finn Balor keeps berating him openly. Even on the mic when he come out at the start of the show, he's like, it's like Dom couldn't do it or whatever.
You gave Dom a shot and he didn't deserve it. And Dom looked at him like, what?
Yeah. And so it's just like Finn Balor's kind of digging himself a grave. And he's definitely starting to lose it.
But then in the next match, we get the Final Testament and The Miz versus the Wyatt Six. And Devin, go ahead and say it, man. Say what everybody else is thinking.
Look, I just don't think this match was everything it could have been. And I don't think it was everything we were promised either.
And plus, Nikki Cross didn't come out with them, so obviously she's going to come in some point or during the match. You knew that. We all knew that.
Yeah, especially because... his name. Okay. Especially because Scarlett's out there. I mean, I was sitting there waiting for Nikki Cross to show up the whole time, and then Paul Ellering, out of nowhere, where you been, man?
Throwing baby powder at everybody.
Like, I guess they just let him go.
It's like they kidnapped him, threw him in the basement, and said, when you get out, you get out.
When you come out, throw baby powder at me and make me lose a match. Hey, man. Uncle Howdy, you're starting to look like the eater of L's.
Yep, looks like Triple H gonna book you how Vince booked Bray.
The Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan, defeats Dakota Kai.
And I mean, what was the point in this match? Why is Liv fighting Dakota Kai? I mean, yeah, it makes sense that Io Sky's #1 contender, but I mean, come on now. Liv Morgan, her title run's getting stale with all the stuff she's doing with the like mid-card people.
And Liv Morgan facing Dakota Kai, I don't really feel like Dakota Kai is that good of an opponent for her. Especially when she's been contending with Rhea Ripley and, you know, Io Sky and people like that. And then we get Pure Fusion Collective walking down to the ring and just standing there like half the match, not doing anything.
And they haven't won a single match to even have a say-so in anything.
In fact, they do nothing but lose to Damage Control. They're the worst version of them, if you can even compare them.
So, like, there's just like no point in them even running out on them for real. But then we get a little backstage thing with CM Punk, and pretty much, I mean, he's saying that, like, you know, he ain't got time for the Seth crap. He ain't gonna just sit back and let him be the guy because he's the guy and he's back now. So go sit on the bench, kid.
He give him the little bro treatment.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, little bro, I'm busy. Starter's back. Go sit down.
And he straight up said, he's like, yeah, remember when Seth Rollins was 16, came to ask me to wrestle for free? And I'm like, dadgum, like, CM Punk just called him out.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, crazy mic work. Probably the nastiest mic work from CM Punk since his return. He didn't have to do Seth Rollins like that, especially when he wasn't around to defend himself.
But then that leads us to Seth freaking Rollins coming out and calling CM Punk a fraud. He's like, "Oh, you suck anyway," you know, like
You only told a little bit of the story.
He's like, "Yeah, you're the greatest in the world until you left."
And I feel like that maybe they're trying to like do a similar thing to CM Punk and MJF's like kind of dynamic, where it's like, I looked up to you and you turned your back on all of us. You know what I mean?
And then they like pretty much forgive each other after they just were beefing last week. And then it's pretty much confirmed after Sammy and Seth Rollins were making up or whatever. Drew McIntyre comes out, beats Sammy down, so now we're getting a Sammy versus Drew McIntyre match at Saturday Night Main Event. What you think about that?
It's a little bit random. And I feel like Drew McIntyre just needs to get some credibility back, and it's like, well, Sami Zayn's got nothing going on after War Games.
I guess they might be trying to, because he took out Jey Uso. Jey Uso couldn't be on SmackDown last week, so I guess they're like, or Raw this week. I guess he's going to take out Sammy, take out Jay, go after Jimmy, and get to face Roman or something, if that's what he's trying to do, but it doesn't make any sense. Because, he cut that little promo after all this, too, and it's pretty much like, oh, I'm back for one reason, and to make sure that all of them suffer. It's like, dude, come on now. Like, you've done this with, like, everybody on the main roster.
Lyra Valkyria defeats Selena Vega and Ivy Nile.
Boo! I'm so disappointed in this.
I don't agree with this decision either. I think this is kind of crap.
Lyra Valkyria over Zelina Vega. Now we gotta rethink our whole bracket. What is this, Raw?
I don't know that much about Lyra Valkyria. I guess maybe she was big in NXT. I did notice when she was coming out, the crowd interaction with her music and stuff. And it's like, I guess she is popular. But I really do feel like they were setting Selena Vega up to kind of, break the glass ceiling, and grab the brass ring. And then they're just kind of like,
yeah,
I don't know.
So, I mean, it was a good match, though. I ain't even going to lie. The match itself was pretty good. It's just I didn't like who went over. But then in the next segment, the New Day comes out and pretty much is like, oh, we didn't hit Big E with a chair or nothing, and they got booed out of the crowd, out of the ring. That was it. Like, they didn't really have time to say nothing.
Was that piped in crowd reaction?
I think so. Because everybody, so when the New Day first arrived at the beginning of Raw, was showing little clips and stuff, everybody was ignoring them. And then, right before they had come out, right here, Cody Rhodes, looked at him and was like, you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah.
So, maybe they're setting up, a 2-on-1 versus Big E, and he's cleared and we just don't know it. I have no idea what's going on with that.
Yeah, if that wasn't piped in, I guess I just didn't realize people were about Big E like that, I almost feel like they took Dom's reactions and just, piped them into the New Day segment.
Because, I mean, and all they literally physically and, all they said was Xavier's like, at least we didn't hit him with a chair.
They really didn't say much.
And then Kofi said something about, oh, at least we didn't use a sledgehammer. And I'm like, that was it. They looked at the crowd, they were booing and walked out. And I'm like,
they basically just said, we didn't do anything wrong.
Didn't give us anything. And I'm like, well, now we really don't know. Y'all going to be what, irrelevant, not be on TV now, or what? What's going on with y'all? Because, this isn't what we're looking forward to.
But in the main event, Rhea Ripley takes on Raquel Rodriguez in an Anything Goes match.
And I think anything went but anything.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just it wasn't good. I'm sorry.
Forgive me to everybody who's listening that likes her, but I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Raquel Rodriguez cannot freaking wrestle.
And they want to act like she's equal to Rhea Ripley, but she's just not.
She's not. She doesn't have the movement, the momentum, or the strength to do what Rhea Ripley does.
And even when they do compete on TV, Liv Morgan always jumps on Rhea Ripley's back. And it's just I don't know. I guess I'm getting tired of seeing this when, there's no real resolution. And then it's They get out here and they keep doing all this hardcore and they keep brawling. And I just guess there's no real longevity to this, man. It's they keep changing their minds on things. People keep entering and leaving. some people get beat up off screen and don't come back. You know, it's like, what's going on, man?
It's like there's just no long storytelling with the females division, bro. It's just they need to have something like that they can actually, like, they're bringing in mid card titles for them and everything, and that's cool and all. But like they have to give them a purpose to be able to want to, you know, be the difference in a mid card and a heavyweight and WWE Women's Champion. There's got to be a little difference, you know what I mean? If they're all the same and all doing the same things, then those titles will never be relevant until they make them relevant.
They're spending too little time establishing all this stuff, and it's just making it all like the impact's not quite there.
And sometimes we'll have a really good one. It'll go for a little bit, but then they just lose their steam. It's like, you know, like sometimes you got to make a good call on things like that.
And then they had the little moment in the end with Io Sky and Rhea playing tug of war with the title. And so maybe there's going to be a triple threat soon. I don't know.
In other sports news, speaking of triple threats, it's going to be Gunther versus Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at Saturday Night Main Event. Triple threat for the World Heavyweight title.
That's pretty interesting.
It's different. And obviously Finn Balor's not going to get a one-on-one option, chance, because he costed Damian his chance. You know what I mean? Finn's had his chance a long time ago, and where's he at right now? He's the tag team champion. You know what I mean? Which he's only defended that title, once or twice so far?
And at the current moment, the War Raiders are set for another opportunity.
So, as of right now, I got to keep calling the Ring General on that one.
And that's about it for this episode.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
As for the fan connection, we're out of here.